Welcome to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where the orchard of wisdom shows are at your fingertips. It ignites your soul, your heart, your spirit, your mind, and your body with illumination from people who have made the journey before you. They're here now to help you on your journey, on your path of self-discovery. We are funded by you, the audience, and the people we interview. If you wish to support us, please go to selfdiscoverymedia.com and press on our Fund Action button. Anything is appreciated. We'd like you to sit back and enjoy the shows. Here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Ignite Your Heart and Soul right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy. My wonderful guest today is Susan Holter. Art, the beautiful, beautiful vision of art. She is an intuitive, visionary artist. She says art is her spiritual practice, considered to be an intuitive, visionary art, creating sacred art and divine space. You know, we talk a great deal about music and how it can ignite our heart and souls and become the poetry of our heart and souls and our beautiful spirits, but so can art. It is a very beautiful and sacred place where when we look at a piece of art, it speaks to beyond the eyes. It goes into the soul, the heart, and the spirit, and it speaks to us in a way that sometimes we can't articulate, but maybe it ignites us. She says using art and sound as a way to connect with the divine and with the universe, with the intention of helping others to recognize the divine within themselves. How can we, truly explain the connection with the divine and the universe at large? This is something that can only be felt with a conscious heart. She is an intuitive visionary artist, and after a near-death experience as a child, Susan was given the ability to see the angelic realms, allowing her to see the angels in pure light form. She uses this ability to draw your angel's portrait and relay messages and insights from your angels. She's also an artist, author of Sofrego, Mandala Activation, I hope I'm saying that right, Guides and Mediation Decks, assisting to realm in the original blueprint. She also creates healing art with a conscious heart from her visions during meditation. This is her way of connecting with the divine and assisting humanity to do the same, recognizing the divine within themselves. We've all got the divine in ourselves, folks. It's all waiting to be ignited. And we don't know what our beautiful instrument is going to be in life until something happens to us. For you, the old cosmic 2x4 of near death brought you to your gift and meaningful purpose. Sometimes it could be a tap on the shoulder, which is sometimes what we prefer, but we don't know how it's going to be awoken in us. But this is your gift. This is your meaningful purpose. And the purpose of it is to ignite those hearts and souls and spirits that is so desperately needed in humanity right now. Welcome to the show, Susan.
Thank you very much for giving me this time.
Art is very subjective. It's going to be seen differently in everyone's eyes, but it truly is an inner statement. People look at it as an outside thing, but it really is an inner statement, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. How does that piece speak to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and not every piece has to.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So why does it not have to? Is it just, oh, it's a pretty picture, but it's not connecting with you?
Yeah, that can be for a lot of different reasons. It can be from where you're at. It can be past life connections. Yeah. If you see a beautiful picture of a cottage in a peaceful setting and it just really, makes you feel calm and relaxed within, and maybe a type of similar setting to someplace you've been at some point in your life or in a past life where just and like the image here behind me, that
Yeah.
it's that was kind of my interpretation of what, of the paintings of the light body. Once it, that we see in Tibet. It was just something that really spoke to me.
Well,
So it was
that's,
kind of,
you're that conduit of what speaks to you and you're bringing it to the world, to kind of switch it on in others. And as I said, art is that beautiful conversation. And, if people actually spoke about what they felt when they saw the art, what they see, and articulate it. Not only is it a realization for them, but it's also opens up to a wonderful conversation of all of us understanding how art can bring us out, out into that beautiful divine comes through you, and it comes through your open heart, but it's for it to come out of you. That's the purpose of it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to hopefully, like I said, spark something within someone to make them, think about something in a different way, or make them feel, calm, peaceful, just to bring about something, and maybe start a conversation with a friend.
And it could be, that cottage feels so familiar to me, but I know I've never been there. And is it a past life? Is it a dimensional travel? Is it even your
Mhm.
ancestors' memory that is coming through you? But the
Mhm.
thing is, don't dismiss it. You're being given the picture for a reason.
Yes.
So what is that reason? How do we open it up? How do we explore it? Because that's the ignition. But how do we put it into gear and explore what it means to us?
Mhm. Exactly.
So you do angel portraits, right?
Yes.
So you're able to see the angels that are around a person and to
Mhm.
be able to draw that portrait of the angel.
Yeah, I've been doing that I did my first angel portrait like about 25 years ago.
Mm. And now, is there a process that you have to go through in order to see that, or is it something that is automatically there?
It's just automatically there for me.
Mm.
And it has been, at least, it started out as my own after the near-death experiences at 4 and 6. And it wasn't until 1997 that I realized I wasn't seeing just my angels any longer.
Mm.
I was seeing everybody else's, and it took me a while. First, I sat down in meditation. I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this?
Mhm.
Um, and my angels, told me that, they wanted me to find a way to paint or draw them. And I argued for like the first 6 months.
Don't bother
Uh,
arguing with an angel.
yeah, I had 2 teenage boys and 2 toddlers at the time, so I
Mm.
wasn't in the least bit busy. And to be honest, I had played with art. I drew. I had wanted, to be an artist when I was a kid, but just wasn't inspired. So
Mm.
I really, I was not an artist at that time. So,
Right.
the first thing I had to do is go get a couple of different mediums and start playing. It's like, okay, how am I even going to do this? What medium am I going to use? I started trying watercolor because that's probably the closest to actually how I see them.
Mm.
But anybody that's worked with watercolor knows watercolor is a lifetime study in itself.
Mm. Mm.
Um, So then I did use pastels for probably about the first 4 or 5 years, but I just wasn't getting the detail.
Mm. The depths.
Yes. So I switched to color pencil, and that's when I was really started to be able to get the detail and, yeah, work out, more in a more, I guess, congruent manner of, what to draw and, portray what I was actually seeing.
Mm. I like the fact that you said angels. People think we just have really one angel, but there's generally a number of angels around us, isn't there?
Everybody has minimum
Mm.
3.
Mm.
Most people have, the average is probably between 5 and 9. The more you have, the more work you have to do. That's on a spiritual, but
Yeah.
we also get an angel when we become a parent.
Mm. Yeah. Yes.
So yeah.
So I know that my angels are in a circle around me. They always have been. And it's like each one of them will give me what I need at the moment that I need it. But they have chosen just to stay with me in the center of that circle. And okay, that's the way it's meant to be. I mean, I'd love to sit down one-on-one with them, but no, they stay in their circle. And they have their own method of why they do what they do, or how they come to you, or when they come to you, or in what format. And there is no amount of demanding from us that is going to change that format. So we really have to be in tuned with it, don't we?
Yes, we do, but asking for assistance can
Mm,
help. Talking to your angels on a regular
yes.
can help, especially if you're wanting them to talk to you. The first thing you got to do is talk to them.
Yes. Because otherwise they're just there. They're
Yes.
waiting to be ignited.
Yeah, exactly. Hmm.
So once you switch them on, they've now got that permissional
Hmm.
connection with you, and they now can communicate with you. Um, I always say that my angels have had a really, a hard job with me of trying to kind of keep me on the spiritual track. The spiritual track was not a problem. It was the human track that kept going off rails. But it's, they're, some people look at them as people that have gone before. The human beings that have gone before. Some look upon them as universal angels that have got nothing to do with this planet at all. They have just chosen to connect with your universal soul. And so have you ever found in the way that you've drawn them that there's a different configuration of how they look?
What I have found and what they have taught me as our personal angels um, are not going to be ancestors or family members that have crossed over. It is extremely rare that an angel has ever taken physical form.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That does happen, but it's rare. Um, but family members and ancestors can become spirit guides.
Right. Yeah.
And spirit guides it's extremely rare that they have not had a physical for lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is noise, physical lifetime doesn't always necessarily just mean on earth though.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. There is more than one plane out there, one
Yes.
dimension
Uh-huh.
out there. Um, the way you draw the angels is the way you see them, but is that the way they wish to be seen?
It's the way they show themselves to me. Now,
Right.
they could show themselves in other ways to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that is how I saw them in my near-death experiences. So, and I think so that just it made sense. I think to kind of keep it the same. Um, I know one of the things I think people comment the most about them is that one of the similarities is they always have their arms outstretched
Mm,
because they're ready to exchange energy or embrace
mm.
whenever you need that.
Yeah. And they don't always have to have wings.
No. Why would a being of light need wings
Yes.
to move around? That
Yes.
that but the wings are really more of a fingerprint of their energy field.
Mm. So the rays of their energy that we now
Uh-huh.
perceive as wings.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't see my angels with wings around them. I see them with various different colors of glow, and like
Mhm.
a pulsation, depending which one I'm dealing with. Um, and sometimes they're just stagnant because they're not meant to be interactive. And then sometimes the light kind of comes on when they're really having to pour that energy out there. Um, I always say to people, we are never alone. When we feel alone, that is the human side of us. It's the human side of us that feels lonely. And maybe we're misunderstood or we're not connecting, or, we're feeling abandoned. It's a human thing. The spirit is never alone. So you never feel that loneliness in the spirit world, do you?
No, you do not. We often forget that we, each one of us, have a spark of that creator within
Mm-hmm.
us.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
grain of
that
sand
is
we were made from. Yeah.
that's something that connects us all.
I wish more people would understand that because, again, as humans, we want to divide, segregate, box and dictate who and what we should be. And instead of looking at it as an essence, I don't care what package you come in. This is your human vessel, right? Um, for me, it's about how do I see your heart? How do I see your soul? How do I see your spirit? How do I see your intent? And that for me is what comes through. And it just happens to be in this vessel, So
Mhm.
I think if we could get over the external differences and start looking at the internal connection, as a human race, we would find that peace that we're so desperately looking for.
Yes, I agree. you know, we're all from the same race. Like you
Mm,
saying, you know, we don't, you know, why are we dividing that?
mm. Yeah.
To me, it makes no logical sense. Never has.
Well, it's like when you're using color, what I was fascinated with color is that how sometimes artists use base colors, several base colors, and then the final color is radically different, but you need those base colors there in order to bring that top color out. So in other words, what you're looking at may be the beautiful glow of amber orange, but in order to get to that amber orange, there had to be multiple other colors there
Yes.
to represent it. So why can't we look at the human race that way?
Yeah, it's all just how, yeah, it all reflects light. Yeah, because really, yeah, everything comes down to how much light it reflects or absorbs.
The absorption, that I think is
Mhm.
the key. We don't absorb that light because we're constantly in defense or
Mhm.
in a state of anger or in a state of loss or lack. And while we're in that state, or if our hearts are closed off, we can't receive that light, can we?
Yeah, it's yeah, like yeah, trying to get the rays of the sun through a pinhole.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it will because
Mhm.
it's very powerful, but can we see it? Can we
Mhm.
feel it? We need to open up more in order to receive it. Um, are you when you draw the angels, you're seeing them, but do you ever paint or draw from just being a conduit and just allow, and you have no idea what you're drawing until you're finished?
You know, to be honest with the angel portraits, even I could say that because I don't see them in
In
all
the
at
in the
once. It's like they show me a little bit at a time. They'll
uh
show me because I start out, I have a whole bunch of colors of paper where I've done a watercolor wash on it ahead of time. So they'll even start out showing me just what color paper I'm supposed to use.
ah
Okay, then what color is what we would call the body.
mm,
Yeah, and then yeah, once that's nearly complete, then they'll start showing me the wings. So I have no idea, what the picture is going to look like when it's completed.
so no preconceived idea from you. It is
Mhm.
just literally it's revealing itself as you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of in layers.
Mm,
And then the very last thing I do, and this has only been going on for, it's probably about 3 years now. Um, I'll starting at the throat, I'll see light language, and it's usually,
mm,
usually goes down the center of the body. Sometimes I'll see it in the arms or in the wings, but it usually goes down the center of the body. But yeah, so even for me, this has continued to evolve.
mm. Is
Yeah.
that is that the connection, the speech, the permission to talk, or the way they're going to talk?
It's a message from them to your higher self.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not something you need to even consciously know what it says.
Mm-hmm.
It's like your soul knows the message the moment they see it.
Right. And the
Yeah.
message, I always say the knowingness is the connection to the soul, which is the divine wisdom that goes through an open heart in total acceptance and trust, goes into the spirit, into action, and the mind will know what it needs to know when it needs to know it. Because when we come from the soul, heart, and spirit, it is our truth of what we need to know right now. And it can draw from our huge database what it is that we need to know. That is where the vision then comes into place, isn't it? But if we try and think what we should know or think how we should do it, then we're not being open to receiving that message and not getting the right message because we've almost contaminated it with just the human thought. We need that divine interaction to truly understand what that human thought means.
Yeah, a lot of us as of artists have found that, when we really try to push a piece of work, it never comes out right.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
you need to give it the time.
Allow,
And allow, yeah.
allow. Um, My brother's an author, and I've interviewed a lot of authors, and they are always saying is that they may have a particular character in mind, and they, have an outline of it, but when they start writing that character goes and takes on a whole life of its own, doing things that they hadn't even thought about them doing, and almost kind of runs ahead of them. That, do you find that with your art as well? There's sometimes something has been so revealed that
Yes, I have, definitely.
How
Yeah,
exciting is that?
it's fun. Yeah, it makes the work a lot more fun. I can definitely say that. A lot more enjoyable. I think if I had to push it in any way, I don't think I'd enjoy the time in front of the easel or at the drawing table. Yeah, just opening it, allowing it. Yeah, and sometimes it feels like I'm the one holding the pencil or the brush, but it's almost like somebody else is pushing it sometimes.
Right, being that conduit for it. And whether we see it straight away or not, there's always a message there, right? Now, our intellect may not get it, but the soul will get it, and the soul will reveal it to the intellect when it's ready. But it also, you can look at the same piece of art from a different lighting perspective, for a different time of day, from a different state of mind, and it will always have a different message for you.
Yes, most definitely. Yeah, and it's amazing how one person can look at a piece of art and see one thing, but another person, a totally different message, and and I find that fascinating.
Yeah, I think that's open, because it's not a wrong or right, it's just perception, right? And if we open
Yeah.
up to those different perceptions, we actually begin to see a bigger picture. So
Exactly.
share what you see. Is, well, I see this, and well, it must be wrong because I see this. No, take the wrong and right over it, out of it altogether. Share with enthusiasm what you both see. Is there a synergy there? Is there a common message just being articulated in a different way? Look at that art for what the art is truly trying to tell you.
Even the other day I saw this image, and I don't even remember where it was, but it's like they had the line drawing of multiple animals. There was probably at least 10 different animals, but it was just the line drawing.
Mm-hmm.
So you could see through it, and it was like, okay, which animal did you see first?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did you see the tiger? Did you see the
Mm-hmm.
elephant? Did you see the giraffe? You know, in the end, and it's like, okay, then what's the connection to that animal for you?
What does that, I mean, everything, every color, every name, every note, everything has a mathematical equation and a vibration. So
Yes.
everything does. So if there is a dominancy, either in, what is the animal's frequency, the color frequencies, what are the vibrations of those? And if you're seeing those, what does it mean? Is it trying to ignite that vibration? Is it trying to give you a different vibrational message? I think if we opened ourselves up more into getting out of the intellect and trusting the divine message and allowing that message to come through us, we will see way beyond what our naked eye can see.
Definitely. Yeah. There's a lot more to this 3D world that we live in than we see with these
Yes.
two.
Yes. Very often it's turn around.
Or, sometimes it's look up.
Yes. Yes. We're very inclined to be linear and kind of blinkered and just walk forward in life. And we're never meant to be linear. We're never meant to be a straight line. We're never meant to be one-dimensional. We have the gift of dancing in so many different dimensions, of seeing things from so many different levels and from so many different people that lie within us, our own dimensional beings that we are. And if we're willing to kind of take the dance and explore, it really is quite wondrous, the messages that you get, which aren't just messages of, oh, that's interesting. It's something to apply to your life, because it's never a wasted message, is it?
No, it isn't. Never. We often, think you're so worried about doing the right thing or
Yeah.
it's like
The expected thing.
Yeah, it's, sometimes we need to do the unexpected thing, but it's all about the experience and what lessons you learn from it. what do you take away from, you know, that fall down the stairs even, or whatever's, taking place.
I mean, people see art in different ways. Some people it's sculpture, some people it's black and white, some people it's different dimensional, as you said, all the animals, and what are you drawn to? Um, and that is kind of their channel. You're channeling the angels, you're channeling that divine message coming through you. Other people are channeling other things. And they're just a different instrument in the orchestra of life. And be just as inquisitive, right? Because it's all messaging to us. We're going to be drawn to certain things more than others. But sometimes we may look at something and go, I don't know. I don't know if I get this, or I don't know if I like this. But the more you look at it, the more you see it, the more you feel it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's all what, like we said, what, sparks you.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever get that driving force where, you've got this on your agenda, that on your agenda, but the paintbrush is saying, into your hand, go and paint, drop everything and go and paint?
Yes, that does happen. Most
Mm-hmm.
definitely. Yeah, unfortunately for me, sometimes that seems to happen. And, everybody else is getting ready to go to bed. And I was like, oh, I really,
Yeah.
like capture something in my head. And it's like, oh, I've got to go do this.
Yes. That's because the energy is given to you right at that moment. And very often, the reason why I think a lot of artistic people do things at night is because other energies are asleep, and your energy could come forth more in a more of a purer fashion without all the other energies having to dance around you. So it's kind of more of a clarity channel, isn't it?
Yeah, and a lot of the other distractions from your
Mm,
day.
yes. Um, do you sell your pieces?
Yes, I do. They cannot, be found on my website, thesusanwalterart.com. But yeah, and I also, I do a few shows here and there, mostly metaphysical fairs.
Mm-hmm.
I just actually just last week came back from the Conscious Life Expo in LA, where I had an absolute blast and met a lot of wonderful people.
Mm-hmm.
But,
It's exciting world, metaphysical world.
it really is. There's so many people involved, so many people that you wouldn't, you see them in your everyday life someplace, and then you see them in a venue like that, and it's like, oh, I didn't expect you to see you here, but I'm so glad to see
Yeah.
you here.
Yes, it kind of opens up a whole new communicational platform, isn't it? When you can see
Mm-hmm.
people, because why do we hide? What is this thing about hiding? The fact that we love metaphysical, we're very spiritual, we're this, I'm a Popeye, I am what I am. I spent far
Mm-hmm.
too many years hiding or, trying to be what everybody wanted me to be. And it's a waste of time. It's just be yourself, and it's okay to be all right. There might be certain arenas that it's just going to go over their head. And but that, if you do talk about who you are and why you are going to open up to that village that is the same, and that community, and it really is a wonderful sense of shared energy, isn't it? Because everybody's out to support one another.
Most definitely. But yeah, I think there are for a lot of years, we were shamed
Oh God, yes.
for our different,
Yeah.
because we didn't fall into one mainstream
Mm,
religion, another. Um, but for me, Matt, and I have felt this way ever, since I was a kid. My near-death experiences may have something to do with it, but it's all religions were created by man. The
yes.
creator God, did not create any of these religions.
They're all
They're
man's
all just,
interpretation. Yeah.
they're all just trying to understand and interpret. Even
Mm,
science is
mm,
trying to understand and interpret. I don't think of science as being just another religion.
mm.
But and I think they all have very important pieces and a very important sacred knowledge that we can draw from. but I think we need to understand that each one of them do, and find a way to bring those together. Because
Yes.
it's like they're pieces of a puzzle that
Yeah.
we're missing pieces.
What's the common denominator? Because there's always something that's at the heart of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where you go from, not from the outside in, go into the heart of it. Out of every religion, what is the heart that believes? What is the purpose of your religion? And and it's as with man, they like to take control of things, or use things to manipulate, to control others, or to profit from things, or just to have the power. Spirituality isn't about power, it's about empowerment. It isn't to be boxed or contained or housed. It is a free spirit that is to ignite in all of us and shared amongst all of us. It's an energy that cannot be blocked and should never be blocked. It is the freedom of our hearts and souls. And I think when we find, even certain spiritual practices have gone under the religious realm in the way of their doctrine, of their teachings. And no, your spirit isn't meant to be contained to that little bubble. It is to be shared out. And when you do, it's absolutely magnificent in the divine energy that it lifts and unites and just gives us a platform where we can all rise up to.
Yeah, the divine still lives and still expands and grows and experiences through each and every one of us.
Yes.
Why are we trying to limit it to one little building or one little book, or
Yes.
it just doesn't make sense.
It was never meant to be contained.
Mm-hmm.
Love is to be shared.
Yes.
Right? Love is be the love that you seek, be the peace that you seek. Share that love, share that peace. And if every single one of us took that responsibility on, that onus on, of doing what the work they need to do to get to that space of self-love, of being that love, of bringing about that peace, that purpose in life, imagine what a harmonious world that we would live in.
Oh, it'd be amazing. I can't wait.
I know, and we are doing it. I mean, this is the thing. One of the reasons I do these shows is that we see on the news the discord, but there's a shift, a vibrational shift that is happening where more and more people are waking up to this divine energy. More and more people are embracing it. And of course, the media isn't going to capture that, not without making us a big evil cult, which they love to do, right?
Oh, yeah, they love to do that.
And the people that are making the most noise are those that are resisting. And why are they resisting? They're fearful. Why are they fearful? Part of it is ignorance. And part of it is they know they're going to get left behind. So they're trying to hold us back. You try holding the wind back. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do they want to try and control it?
Fear sells.
Mm-hmm.
And when you've got people afraid, you have more control over them. And then those that are in that power will get rich. That's, it all comes down to power and money and ego, right? But
ego is a big, very big piece. I think it's even bigger than the money.
Well, yes, because the more money they have, the bigger the ego. All right. And the ego, the money defines their ego. I am so important because I'm this rich. And no, you're not. All you have is paper money. Show me a person who is enriched in their heart and their soul and their spirit, and they're far more abundant than you'll ever be. So it's up to us, right? And people like yourself are showing people that A, they have angels that are there to talk to and be there for them. B, it's safe and okay to open up and embrace your beautiful divine essence, right? C, it's okay to embrace other people who have embraced that divine essence because they're there for you to help you on your journey of life. And that go with it, go with this beautiful flow and rise up, rise that frequency up. And the benefits of it to humankind, to all living kind, to this planet will be revealed. Hate kills creativity. Fear kills creativity. right? There's no solutions based in a fearful state. And when you take that breath and you're willing to feed love, water those beautiful seeds, you will start seeing creativity like crazy all around you. Like your art, right? It's not done from a fear base. It's not done from a lack base. It is pure love and abundance coming through you.
Yeah, it's the love of the feel of the paintbrush or what the paint does, or what you think you can possibly do at the do at the end, or to be able to share it in some way.
Yes. How is this story going to continue when other people see it? Right? Because you're the beginning of that story. The origins was the divine of that story, but how that story is going to get unraveled and who it's going to touch, who it's going to ignite, that is out of your hands completely, but it's also so wondrous.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I remember.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just tell a story about an angel portrait that I did a number of years ago. It was I was in an event, a small psychic fair in one of our local shops here in the Kansas City area, and a young girl came to me wanting an angel portrait, and to be honest, I didn't want to do it because it was obvious to me she was still under the influence of something.
Right.
But my angels and her angels both were still very insistent that this happened. So I did the angel portrait, and to be honest, forgotten about it. Really didn't think much of it. About a year and a half later, a young lady comes to me at that same event. And it took me a few minutes to figure out it was the same young lady. But she tells me how literally that same week she moved out of the house that she was living in had people not very good influence on her. She had gotten off the drugs. She enrolled in community college. She'd gotten a part-time job. She made huge changes in her, all within like 30 days.
Right.
And she was just about to complete her community college when she came back to me, and then she's telling me all these things she's done. In the last year and a half, there's this young man standing behind her the whole time, grinning from ear to ear. And he had proposed to her the night before.
Ah, lovely.
It did, and it's wonderful to think about how her life was changed, but also his life was changed.
Yes.
Her parents' lives were changed. As a parent myself, to know that, something sparked that in my child to, from anywhere.
Yes.
To bring them back to the,
and all they needed was the angel help.
Yes.
Sometimes our angels can't communicate directly. So they need to come through people like you. You opened that door for her angels to communicate with her, for them to lead her, for them to show her her way out and way forward. And she obviously wasn't able to open that door. That spark of light, she opened it enough to ask you to draw it.
Yes.
Right. But that's how the angels knew they were going to communicate with her, by you opening up that door. And you did sense the negative. That's the arena that she was in. That was the lifestyle that she was in. But the angels wanted to save her and show her a different path. So had you had refused or not opened that door for her, who knows where she'd be today?
Yeah, it's sad to think where she might possibly be, but to know that there's somebody, just one person's life that I really changed like that.
But that's what it's all about.
It's inspiring.
It is. It's that. I mean, in 2010, a reader said to me, I was involved with an electric motor at the time, and she said to me, you're going to do something online that's going to be global, that is going to change lives and literally save lives. And I thought, with the electric motor at that time, what the hell is that? And the electric motor was stolen, and people, robbed us and all of that type of thing. And I literally fell into podcasting on another network, and discovered I really liked it. I really, for me, it was, do I want to stay with this humanity of such greed and ego and opulence? And it was a way to show me that there are so many beautiful souls out there that are making a difference. And now next month is my 10th anniversary of doing this. And it's just shown me how many beautiful souls are out there that have embraced their beautiful gift, however it came to them, and now sharing that gift to ignite that heart and soul in other people. And it's so hopeful and it's so beautiful, because the way we're going to be saved as a humanity is for people like you who can open up the doors to the divine, let those messages and support come through to others, and allow them to be the light they're meant to be. Because that's why we're all, each one of us, given a gift of whatever we're given. Embrace it. This is your role. This is your why. This is your meaningful purpose. This is your service. And you have no idea who it's going to help. And you may never know, but knowing that it is making a difference, that is all you need to know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it is
there's
nice
days.
now and again to get the feedback.
Yeah, that story inspires me. And them
Yes.
days when I'm feeling down, just to think about that again and remember,
How not only her life was turned around, but the ripple effect of all lives that she touches now. Right? Because
yes.
you don't just save one life. That one
No.
life saved, that one life redirected into their own meaningful purpose, their own self-value, their own self-love, it has a wonderful ripple effect on everybody else around them. So inspiration begets invitation, right? And that invitation is for us to rise up and be what we are meant to be, and don't let the human conditioning hold you back. Unite your divine presence and allow that to guide you forward.
Yeah, we're never alone, not even for a moment.
No, no. And if we could get out of the anxiety of a problem and just simply ask the angels the question, and don't dictate how you want it to be.
Right.
Just allow. All of a sudden things start popping up. Oh, what a coincidence. No. You got out of the way and they provided in the way you needed. Maybe not what you wanted, but what you needed.
Exactly.
It really is a wonderful journey, isn't it? And always forever changing. When you're picking up the paintbrush and you might be drawing someone's angel, or you might be doing a piece of your own, but just to allow it to manifest through your hands, through your vision, through your artistry, and then become something that has transcended you. You're the mother giving birth to it, the gestation, and it's there now out in the world. But there is something is it the process going through for you, or is it the end result?
For me, it's more the process, I think. I enjoy the end result, but it's more about the process and then letting go of it. And I know for so many artists, and a lot of artists even have asked me, like, oh, isn't it hard to let go of your pieces? And I was like, a lot of times it's like, no, because it wasn't even, I created it, but it wasn't for me.
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah. Well, it's like an author, if their books are to share those stories everywhere. And that's the beauty of art, is not to hold on to it, is to share it, because that's the gift that it is. That's the gift you are in giving that gift. I love color. Color is really, really important to me. As you might see, blues are very much my color here. And that goes very much to do with my personality sign, my numerology, astrology, Chineseology. It's all is that, drawn to certain colors and certain things. There's always, color tells a story, doesn't it? And sometimes if we're drawn to certain colors, I think it can be that the chakras are needing feeding, but it's also that particular color and its story is there to feed you at that time.
Yeah, a color is a frequency and is a
Yes.
vibration. Yeah, in the angel portraits, the colors, that come through, that has a meaning. It has to do with the lessons that angel is helping you with, the energies that they're bringing into that person's life. And and that's why I intentionally don't remember what those colors mean,
Mm,
because
mm,
so I don't project anything onto
right,
anything.
exactly. And do you find that when people look at their angel portrait there, that they have an instant connection or they're drawn to something in particular? Does it take them a while for the connection?
Not usually. Usually they connect right away, and it is not uncommon for me to hear, "Oh, those are my favorite colors."
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
Because that's the angel has been projecting those colors on you as a connection anyway, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, it's that I have a very distinct memory of, coming from somewhere else and being blue, you know, and coming from a blue hue, gold, oyster shimmering colors. And they've always been the things that I'm drawn to. And that's your energy source. That's your kind of your energy blood, isn't it? When you're kind of drawn
Hmm.
to a color, that's the frequency that you operate well from.
Yes. Yes.
Are there any colors you particularly don't like?
Oh, I'd say orange is probably my least favorite color for my personal, for
Mm-hmm.
like the clothing I wear, the colors I have, in my private space. But I'm looking around the pieces in my studio right now. There's quite a bit of orange here.
As there was a huge big orange one right behind you. Is does it make you feel uncomfortable, or is it just simply, not your high energy?
It's just not my energy.
Yet you paint a lot of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, because it's not the paintings aren't for me in a lot
Right,
of,
true,
yeah.
true.
But yeah, for me, I like the more purples and blues and greens.
Mm-hmm,
Um, those are probably, yeah, purple is probably my favorite color.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the indigo colors, that have a touch of the purple in there, or I love certain kind of blue teals. I love the merging of the colors. I don't like flat colors. I like colors
Right.
that, have different dimensions to them. What color is your color that you're drawn to, that is your energetic color?
Mm. Probably purple.
Mm. So purple is, if you had to paint your own, you've painted your own angels, right?
I have drawn some of them, yes.
And what color were they?
Not all. I think I've pretty much seen just about every color in the rainbow. Yeah.
So there's many colors around there. And as an artist, yes, you would expect that to be so. They don't want you to have a dominant color, right? So they want you to
Mhm.
be the rainbow so that you have all that palette there. How long have you been doing the portrait angels?
The angel portraits I started I did my very first one in late 97. So it's been
A long
about,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
at first, because I was still a very busy mother raising children, it
Mm-hmm.
was just kind of a part-time thing that I was, friends with one of the local metaphysical shops, the owner there. And
Mm-hmm.
it started out just 2, 3 Saturdays a year. I'd go and for love offerings.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as the kids got older, I started doing, a little bit more and doing a few fairs here and there. And it's now almost 9 years ago that I went full time.
Mm. And it's keeping you busy.
I'm getting busier all the time.
Well, I mean, I can see two reasons for that. The angels are desperately wanting to connect with there's an urgency behind them. There's an urgency for us to rise up to a higher vibration. And the second is, I think, as many human people are ready to embrace that divine presence. They know they need something more than what they have. They know that there is something more. And so that communication is ready to happen. And
Mhm.
so I think the more and more, and I think we're going to see an escalation of that quite considerably. So expect to be busier, uh, because there is an urgency behind right now. If they've been turning the volume up on us for quite some time now. And this has been a notch by notch, and we're about to see a complete turn up. And it is, people are kind of almost going to feel a little shocked with this surge of energy. And the angels, that's the time they need to be seen and heard, so they can guide people through and harness that energy into the right direction.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Well, expect to be busy, especially now that, I mean, you need to have the person in front of you, or you do it by photograph, or you do it by Zoom, or how do you do it?
A majority of them lately have been via Zoom.
I
Yeah,
wonder why. Little pandemic out there.
I can do it from photograph as well, as long as I can see the eyes.
The eyes are the window to the soul, right?
Yeah, just looking in the eyes once for just a few seconds makes that connection, and then I start drawing almost immediately.
How long does it take you to finish?
About an hour.
Oh, really? So that's very, very quick.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then, but that's just maybe the one angel. Do you have it where people come back and say, but there's another angel trying to come through, or I want that more?
Sometimes people come back for more. I do recommend they wait at least 6 months in between.
Right.
Because once you really start communicating with your angels, they tend to make shifts and changes.
Yes.
And I like people to, make adjustments and be a little more comfortable in those energy changes before another angel portrait is drawn.
Well, it's like in any form of music, it's identifying the chord. So you know which angel is talking to you, which frequency is talking to you. And if you had them all at once, it'd be very, very hard to actually differentiate those chords. So get to know one before another comes in, so you can identify what frequency they're coming in. And then you'll know which energy messages are coming to you, which angel messages are coming to you, right? And being able to identify with it. So I can see the reasoning behind that. Yeah, let it happen gradually. Is there an urgency sometimes with angels? They go, no, me first, no, me first.
Yeah, one of the things I have done over time is done what I think of as turning down the volume, where I don't see them in full form all the time anymore.
Right.
And if that was a little overwhelming to do simple things like going to the grocery store and things like that.
Yes.
Where I see them as like spheres of color that's constantly moving. So it's kind of like glitter in a snow globe type of thing, just constantly shifting and reflecting light and changing. But when I sit with someone, once I look into their eyes for a few seconds, it's like one steps forward and takes shape and defines color for me. And that's how I know which one to draw. So it's totally up to them which one.
Who's going to represent, right? You know how you see a lot of pictures nowadays with a hue of color around them, and people are thinking it's ghosts, it's an entity. But would you also say that very much could be the angels that are around people that we're seeing and we're kind of misreading it?
I think it could be, definitely. When I've been at events sometimes where there's aura cameras present, they'll go, have taken an aura photo before or after. And there's often similarities, not always, but oftentimes there are. Or you'll see the colors of one in the background.
When people have ignited with their angel and they're moving through life with that, do you see those people differently? Do you see them and see them the aura of their angel?
And do I see it as separate? Yes, I do.
So when the ignition, the igniting has happened, when the connection has happened, because now you're seeing the aura of the angel around them. That's good. That's verification. You see them there. As I said, each one of us is here to discover what our beautiful instrument is, how to play it, and which orchestra to bring it to. And none of us meant to be the same, even though people might be doing, I've interviewed somebody else who is an art conduit. And that he doesn't do angels, but his art is a conduit artist, and they all have a particular meaning, or even numerology or whatever to do with it. Is that there is no competitiveness or even comparison. Is that each person is that piece of music for that time, for that need. And if we can all embrace our own different contributions and, oh, I love what you're doing. This person's speaking louder to me right now, but down the road, oh, I need yours. I need your piece of vibration. And if we're open to that, it wouldn't be there has to be one size fits all. You're going to need different people at different times in your life. And the more you know of them, the more your memory will be triggered. That's the person I need to be right now. I need to know my angel, invite my angel on.
Yeah, we all need different guidance and different assistance at different times.
You can't paint an angel for someone until they themselves are ready to invite the angel in.
There are times where people have, given me like the photo of a friend, for it to be a gift.
Right.
And I have my angels like talk to their angels to give permission.
Right. Yeah. So there has to be permission on some level.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it has to be when people are ready. So if the angels know they're ready, then the gift will be the ignition. They themselves probably wouldn't have asked for it because they didn't know they were ready.
Right.
Right. So basically the angels are talking through the friend or family member, right?
Yes.
So tap on the shoulder. Would you get this person to communicate? Right. So different channels, right? Listen, don't ignore folks, please. If you're drawn to something so much, right? Angel portrait, what are you talking about? No, angel portrait, there's something in there. I've got to follow it. Just get out of your own head. All right. And follow it because it's trying to communicate with you.
Yeah, they can have a lot to say, but they're like people.
Yes.
Some are not as talkative as others. Some of them, instead of talking to me, they'll like show me like snapshots or photographs, so that I interpret them the best that I can.
Yes. Mine don't actually talk to me. They very much give me the visions. They take me into a movie, a scenario, or something like this, or another dimension, and then we communicate there, but it's never like a one-on-one. You're not going to sit down and have a cup of tea with your angel.
Not usually. Yeah, and a lot of time it's not uncommon for them to give homework.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah, go read this book or go follow that author or different things, go get a past life reading, go do something.
Yeah. And please don't buck against it. Right. I don't want to read this book. No, if the book it's like when I go into a bookstore, a book will come out to me. I'm drawn to a certain area that this book is drawn to me. I open it up. All I need to do is read a few words in there and I know, okay, all right, this is the book I need to read right now. Right. And it's like, please don't come in with your ignorance or arrogance and go, no, I'm not going to do it, because it's going to keep throwing that book at you one way or the other until you read it.
Or that, at least that information.
Yes. Another book, a few books being thrown at you. You can't avoid it, right? And it's for your good. It's for you to ignite your own beautiful divine presence. So don't back it, and please don't try. I had a friend who was awoken to his gifts, and he spent 2 years worrying about why he didn't understand. Why was this given to me? I need to understand it. I need to do. And I said, no. You just need to go with it. Go with it. It will be revealed. The knowledge that you need to know will be revealed, but you can't understand it until you experience it. Right. So don't be afraid to experience, right?
No, definitely not. It can, new experiences are fun.
Yes. Gosh, yes. How boring would it be if you go, I've been there, done that, don't need to do anything anymore? No, it's not over until we're over. And then that's only over in the body, not in the spirit. So yeah.
Yes, the soul lives on.
And you never know where it's going to take you. And that's what makes it exciting, right?
Yes, that's what makes life exciting and worth living.
Yes, we have many chapters in our book of life. Stop going to the ending before your time.
Yeah, the fun's in the middle of the book.
Yes.
Not just knowing how it ends.
Right. And, a lot of people, look back at their youth and go, oh, I had all the fun then. I don't have it now. How about you take the enthusiasm of your youth, put it with your energetic wisdom, and ignite an energy that can take you forward into really using it in a different way, more fulfilling, right? Is that we segregate our own age group of this was then, this was baby making time, this was the divorce time, this was that time. And it's like there's a thread through all of it, and we can go revisit any time. And you just have to be around youth to ignite that enthusiasm again. And, match it with that beautiful wisdom you have now and see where it takes you.
Yes.
Just get out and live, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yes. But please, not just as a humanoid, be as a human being, a human spirit, because we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And when you marry the two together, it truly is extraordinary. It truly is. All of your senses are woken up, your sense of taste and touch, your height, your eyes, your hearing, everything about you is more alert and more sensitive and more in tuned. And so therefore things mean more to you. And it's a beautiful state of being to be in.
Yes, I agree.
How do people book you for a portrait? What is the time frame that it takes to get one done?
They can literally go to my website, go to the Angel Portraits page. You can schedule your appointment right there. When I just get an email, and I have, time slots available. So just,
So it's Susan
it's
Walter, WALTER art.com.
right. Right. And I know a lot of people put an S on the end of Walter.
Yes.
That is the more common spelling, as I understand why. So just,
Susan Walter
yes.
art.com. And your Susan Walter Art on Facebook and there's on Instagram. You have your own
Yes.
YouTube channel as well. What do you share on the YouTube?
YouTube channels, after a few months of like this interview, I'll share that there as well. But I am not a good interviewer like you are. I do not good at, I do not come up with all these fabulous questions to ask and things. So I have not started that venture as yet.
When it's time, you will.
We'll see. I'm still a little shy. Even doing this is kind of out of my comfort zone.
Yes, it started off being that way, but not now. You're in the flow.
I'm getting better at it.
Yeah. And I think, that very often is again, kind of that human side of expectation of how I should be, rather than just allowing your essence to be. Right? Just let your essence shine through. That's all we want. Your heart and soul. That's all we want. Right? And what your heart and soul is here to do. Because when you understand what your heart and soul is here to do and allows that spirit to get into action, that is the essence of who you are and the gift that you are giving and sharing. That is what really needs to come through. So when you just step into that, just be, then that's good enough.
And we're all learning together.
Yes, we are. Don't stop learning, please, folks. Don't stop learning. The youngest person I've interviewed is 10. The oldest is 91. The 91 are taking on a new lover 2-3 years beforehand, has their own TV show. And it's all about exuberance and chutzpah and a love of life. When you have a love of life and a love of what your contribution is to life, then there's your reason for really living. So get your portrait done. You never know what your angel is wanting to say to you. And it's that invitation of, hello, angel. I'm here ready and willing to hear your beautiful guided wisdom and allowing me to elevate up to a higher plane, a higher meaningful purpose. Your angel is dying to connect with you. So reach out to Susan. Simple portrait will open up that door. And now you know what essence is with you. You'll know how to feel it, of that true essence. You'll know how to listen to it and how it will guide you forward. It's that wonderful step forward. Just think of that young woman who is in a dark place, who chose to see some light of hope, and look how it turned her life around. So you never know if it can for you. Your angels are ready and willing. Reach out the hand, press click, susanwalterart.com, book an appointment, get your beautiful guide's portrait there, and start your journey. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I've not heard of this before, and I think it's, a lot of people have their own beautiful messages and conduits, but actually representing one's spirit guide in the form of an angel and opening up that door of communication is really an extraordinary gift. And I think it's for somebody who's waking up and they don't quite know where to go or how to understand it or what to do, igniting with their angel is a beautiful first step, because
Yes.
you've got your guidance, you've got your compass, you've got that
Yes.
beautiful spirit that's going to lead you forward in truth and honesty and care and trust and security and all of that. So it's, I think it's a wonderful thing to do for people who are looking and know they need to do something, but they don't know what to do. Let your angel guide you. Get the portrait done, open up that door, and then allow. Thank you so much. Until next time, folks, you're never alone. Open up the door, let them speak to you, and let them show you how beautiful you really are. Until next time, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. Please tune in to our selfdiscoverymedia.com/shows and you will see all the other genres that we have from you. Every week on Tuesday, we bring you new shows from illuminating people. If you know someone that should be interviewed, please contact us at info@selfdiscoverymedia.com. Now stay tuned for your next show.